don't see God that same way.
Okay. Anybody
So
else
that's
want
my
to chime
tawheed.
in?
My tawheed is not describing God; it's
Yeah,
describing
yeah.
His mercy.
I wanted to just mention a few points. When it comes to Sunni Islam, they have three standpoints when it comes to these matters. So when Allah mentions something that the apparent meaning resembles humans, there's three standpoints. One is that you consign the meaning to God. So you say God knows the meaning, we don't know the meaning. The second standpoint is you interpret it and you give it like a interpretation to it. So for example, they will say based on the context, hand would mean power. Number three is the Salafi one, which is you affirm the literal meaning, but you don't know the how. All of these three standpoints, they all unite on the fact that God is not like the humans, He's not like the creation. So they all agree upon this. So there shouldn't be any issue in that regard. So hopefully you understand the three standpoints.
I
Can I
think,
jump in, please,
yeah,
quickly?
you're next. You're
So,
next. Hold on, Paul,
okay.
really quick. You're right. You're right next. I just wanted to.
Let me refute you. That's fine. Do what you got to do.
Well, you'll get your chance because I actually do want to know both of you, Alif and Muhammad Qasim, your aqidah and madhab, like so you don't backpedal and stop blaming the Salafi. Let's see if you're sincere enough and you're honest enough. Why don't you tell us your madhab and aqidah, Muhammad Qasim?
I follow the Salaf, by the way. However, there's
You're
many different
Salafi? Okay.
Salafis. There's
Sure.
I'm not. I wouldn't. No, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Muslim first and
Okay.
foremost. But I do follow the Salaf. But
do
in
you,
terms of the Salafis on this app, there's many different types. And the problem is, I've come into rooms where I've seen them debating God's hands. And if you go into any masjid, you go to any scholar, to any imam, they're not doing this type of stuff. So what is it
Didn't
called?
he just condemn the Salafi earlier?
he did, yeah, he did.
I condemned
Weird.
them. I said, no, y'all got the Salafis confused because the
Okay.
Salafis come on here and you have
Is there
different
any
types of them,
Salafi? Is there any
and y'all don't
Salafi
know the
that
difference.
Ash'ari?
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I follow the
Please,
Salaf.
please. Okay, is there any Salafi that are Ash'ari? Do answer the question.
Salafis are Salafis usually are not Asharis.
Yeah, I know Muhammad Qasim. I want to see how much he's lying though. So, okay, so he answered for you. Anyways, let's move
You were asking
away.
me there, you were asking the room. What you
I was
mean lying,
asking
bro?
you.
Don't accuse people of lying.
Okay.
Nobody's lying.
Okay, what's the difference between Ash'ari and Athari?
They're different creeds.
What do you mean different creeds?
I don't get
Tell me.
into all that, but I
Okay,
have
so he
my own.
doesn't
I
know.
follow my
Okay.
own. I follow the Asr.
Are you Athari? Are you Athari?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How about you, Qasim?
I lean towards Maturidi and Ashari.
Okay. Okay, well, these guys are blaming the Salafi. According to the four madhahib, they're all Athari, and they say, so it's not only the Salafi, it's Al-Hanbali, Al-Hanafi, Al-Maliki, Al-Shafi'i. They would say Allah has hands on these parts, but bila kayf. So get your facts right. It's not only the Ahl Salaf, it's actually the entire four
Bro, I'm
madhahib.
a Shafi'i too. So again, all
Oh
these things
boy,
you're saying,
yeah, okay.
all these things you're saying, you're just
You're
speaking to
everything.
your own choir, my boy. You see what I'm
Okay,
saying? That's why I don't
sure.
explain things to you, because you try to get people in circles until
He's
you
probably a
realize you
Hannibalic
expose
too.
yourself.
Can I
You
say
expose
something real quick?
yourself.
Expose myself? Okay.
You talking to a Shafi'i who follows the Salaf, who told you he's a Atari. So what's up?
He's a Shafi'i and a Salafi. Okay, cool.
Yes,
Yeah,
Salafis can follow a
Three in
madhab.
one,
That's not
bro.
the same as creed.
yes.
Okay,
Okay.
Logic.
Uh-huh.
Okay, just a quick thing, because Logic just finished off about 5 minutes ago saying that that basically don't come at a Christian like this again when you can't explain um you know as regards certain qualities as regards to Allah. But what I'm saying is, as regards to this quality being he's unlike the creation, this is logical. Logic. So what I'm saying by is logical is because the creator of a thing will always be greater and external to that he's created. So him, God being nothing like the creation is logical. That's logical. But your Trinity, the reason why obviously that gets questioned a lot and drilled a lot is because there is no logic in that. So you see the difference between the two narratives.
No, see, what you're trying to do is you're trying to disassociate your Allah from any type of human thinking, but you're trying to say that the Christians must demonstrate their God and the nature of their God within a human finite thinking. So what you're doing is saying, we don't have to do this with our God, but you have to do this with your God. I see an inconsistency and a double standard there.
Brother Chris, why don't we, if let's see if they can use logic. Why don't you formulate an objection towards the Trinity without a straw man? Go ahead.
Yeah, I can just give you a quick demonstration. So you see the God in your you see.
Muhammad. The question wasn't for you.
So
The question is for Leon, exposing whether he knows logic or you might know. You didn't make the claim. We'll go to you next. Let's see if
Oh,
Lion
so you're
actually
not
can
looking
come
for
through.
the truth. You're just looking to try to pimp people for clips, huh?
No, not at all.
All right,
I
so
just,
let Muhammad answer then.
I
He
will,
clearly
I
had the
will.
answer.
Okay.
all right. So
No,
in
Muhammad,
your
don't let me move you down. Let's see if Lion,
he's not answering.
let's see if Lion can, well, we want to know, does Lion have an actual objection, or is he a parrot that regurgitate sentences without comprehension? So Lion, your last chance. Are you gonna formulate an objection? Mute up, Muhammad. Be patient. Thank you. So Lion, going once, going twos, going threes. So, Lion, are you gonna ever repeat that statement if you cannot substantiate it with an argument ever again? This is a different answer, a different question, obviously. You should be able to answer this one. If you cannot make an argument to say or substantiate the claim that you made that the Trinity is illogical, then why are you regurgitating a parroted phrase like a parrot? Just tell us, like, seriously, be sincere. Like, we're not gonna actually, you know, parade you, but hopefully, if I catch you in a different room and you're actually saying the same thing, I will parade you. But hopefully, this is the last time, right? Right?
Crickets.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Yeah, the Trinity is contradictory. The reason is, and it's irrational. The reason is because
Whoa, 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 whoa,
God
whoa,
in
whoa,
your
whoa,
belief
whoa,
is.
whoa, whoa.
Let me
Hold
just
on,
let me
hold
finish.
on,
Let me finish,
hold
bro.
on.
Bro. I didn't interrupt
Okay.
you. Now you're interrupting me.
Yes, one objection at a time. Contradictory. Please go ahead. State the laws of non-contradiction. State the fact. How is it contradictory?
Yeah, don't worry about that. I'll
Contradictive?
do that. Don't worry. Don't worry. So,
Yeah. So one
something.
objection at a time.
One
Please,
second. One
please,
second. It's gonna
please,
be one. It's
please.
gonna be.
Yes, but you bashing is not going to be one. If you want to go like this, into a bashing mode, I can bash Muhammad from here till tomorrow. Trust me, and I can bash Tawheed from here till the end of time. So let's not start with this. If you want
All
to
right.
have an honest, if you want to have an honest discussion, then one objection at a time. State your syllogism, if you will, or actual argument. Go ahead.
All right. So just to make it clear, if you're gonna carry on muting, I'm not gonna engage with you. So just to make that clear. So firstly, I'm talking. I'm only mentioning one point. I'm not mentioning 2 points. I'm saying that this belief is contradictory and irrational. It's both at the same time. So I'm talking about that's one belief. So when you believe that God is almighty and also limited, finite, he asks from the Father, he begs from the Father, he's limited, he's powerless, and at the same time, all powerful. This is contradictory. Why? Because a contradiction is two opposites at the same time, and this is what you believe. And this does not exist in Islamic religion, but it does exist in Christianity.
You're not presenting a proper contradiction, brother.
Yeah,
I
I want
was
to laugh.
I
I
was
want to
just
laugh
waiting for
so
the
much, man.
contradiction.
I want to laugh so much, but I muted up out of respect. I thought you have something of value to say. Now we know the level you're at. I'll stoop to your level and actually give you an analogy. Hopefully, like even a chicken can understand this. A ship carrying a vehicle, a car, and sailing away. The ship ontology is a ship. It does not change by carrying a car. The ontological properties of a car is actually fully a car. So the ship is a 100% ship. and the car is a 100% a car. The ship doesn't need wheels, and the 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 car needs wheel. The fact that you're strawmanning this, and I told you the fact that can you formulate an argument without committing a strawman? You strawman our faith. You strawman the incarnation. We believe that Jesus is 100% God, or fully God and fully human. You cannot intermix these properties. These properties that you think they're contradictory, they do not infuse in the person Jesus. We believe there's a hypostatic union, and that your straw man is the does God need food? Does God need toilet? Again, I'll refer you back to the same old analogy that is not an absolute similitude to the incarnation, but yeah, hopefully someone with a mind of a chicken can understand it and understand that they are ontologically two different entities. One is divine, one is human. One is 100% divine, one is 100% human. You cannot be a human without actually eating food. You cannot be a human without using a toilet, and so on and so forth. The fact that you're committing a straw man and actually didn't state a contradiction, it's yeah. Sorry, Chris, do you want to add? I just
Can I respond? All right, so it's very clearly it's a contradiction. Why? Because I showed you two opposites, and just by saying that God has two natures, 100% man, 100% God, that doesn't fix the issue, because that's exactly the issue. Because 100% God and 100% man, these are two opposites. So one time God is all powerful, and at the same time He's also limited. This is a problem. One time God is all knowledgeable, another time He's all limited, and at the same time. So this is a deficiency, and this is very clearly a contradiction. Like it's like saying something is square, circle at the same time. That's exactly what your belief is, and you can just
okay.
mock it. You can just
So
mock what I'm
one more
saying, but
time.
to
So one
any
more
intelligent
time.
person,
Brother
one
Paul.
Okay,
second,
so
to any
hold
intelligent,
on, sorry, 1 second. So one more time. Does the car stop being a car because it's on top of a ship? Does the ship need a car to be a ship? Does the car need the ship to be a car? You're completely ignorant on the fact of how refutations go. I gave you an analogy. Try to put holes in my analogy to refute me. Instead, you went on another diatribe, not understanding what I even said. Anything that I said did not register. Like you went on and on. Again, yes, the ship doesn't need wheels. The car needs wheels. That's a contradiction to you. Perhaps it's an apparent contradiction, but it's not a contradiction because they're two different ontological beings. Like I just don't understand how you cannot comprehend that.
Brother Paul, can I quickly say something as well? I just wanted to add something to that. Yeah, I just want to give an analogy of something that he is very familiar with. Muhammad Qasim, as a Sunni Muslim, you are bound to believe that the Quran is eternal. It's the eternal speech of Allah. So my point here is, if I was to rip a page from the Quran and burn it to the ground, are you telling me that I burned something that is eternal? Is that what you're telling me?
all right, so let me just address the first point. His analogy. His analogy was that the boat has a car on top of it. Now, the difference between that and the Christian belief is you're saying, you're saying basically that Jesus was both God and human at the same time. You're not saying there's two separate beings. You're not saying Jesus was God and also human separately. And if you are saying that, then by default, if you're saying the two beings, then that means there's two gods. So you have four gods altogether. And
Yeah,
regarding the Quran creation, if you want me,
where did you get
I
that
can
from?
address that as well.
Can someone dumb it down even more than this, please?
Wait, Paul, let him answer the Quran one about the Quran being eternal and finite at the same time. I just want to get his view on that because it's going to backfire against him.
Yeah, I can address that. So when we say the Quran is eternal or say uncreated, We are referring to the speech of God. Speech is an attribute of God, and that's eternal. But what's within the creation, which is the scripture, the Quran, the book itself is not eternal. The book itself, we've been told, is going to be removed in the end of times. And the speech that we recite, these words are not eternal. So what's eternal is the speech of God, and once it enters the realm of the creation, it's no longer um, uncreated
Okay, so
and eternal.
okay, so would you say that the Quran possesses the eternal words of Allah? Would you say that the Quran has and
Yeah.
Allah has written his eternal words on finite page? So something eternal became finite. Is that what you're telling me?
No, something eternal doesn't become finite.
Okay, so then how can the Quran possess the eternal words of Allah if it's on finite pages and pen?
The
Because
Quran that we have, yeah, the Quran we have, the
because
Quran that we have, yeah, the Quran we have in the world is expressed speech.
and the words itself, Allah didn't speak those, because if he did, that means the words written on the page, you say it has a finite quality. I mean an infinite quality, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to call the Quran the eternal word of Allah. So the Quran itself, is it the eternal word of Allah? Does it possess the eternal word of Allah or not? Because if it doesn't, then you don't hold to the Sunni decree that
So
the
yeah,
Quran
yeah.
is
Let
eternal.
me just quickly explain. So when I'll give you an example to make you understand. So we see mercy of God is eternal. It's an attribute of God. So mercy is an attribute of God, and he has this eternally. Now, when it comes into the world and he sends his mercy down, we don't say the attribute of God has come down. Instead, this is something that God has expressed his mercy and he sent them his mercy down, but we don't say his attribute coming down. So hopefully
Yeah.
that's clear. So when he speaks, his speech is eternal, but when he speaks and when the word is expressed and he enters the world, that no longer becomes eternal and is created at that point.
So something eternal became finite then. I mean, if I let me ask you one question. The Quran, is it eternal or not?
It depends how you look at it. If you're talking about the speech of God, yeah. If you're talking about the book, then no.
Oh, okay, so the Quran itself, it does have two natures. It possesses an infinite quality, but at the same time, a finite quality.
It all depends what you're referring to. That's when, because Quran can refer to the speech, it can refer to the book, it can refer to, the speech of God
I'm
and
talking,
whatnot. So,
I'm talking
so
about
it
the
all depends
words.
what you're referring to. So
Well,
when you say Quran, it
you be,
becomes ambiguous
you
unless you
believe
clarify exactly what you're referring to.
you believe that the speech is in the book, do you not?
The speech of God, yeah.
So
Okay, so just as Ezekiel is saying, you believe that the speech of Allah is eternal, and the speech of Allah is in a finite book. So you have the Quran has a infinite aspect to it and a finite aspect to it at the same time.
Talk about
Yeah.
contradiction.
So okay, so would you say, let me just understand from your perspective, would you say the mercy of God, which is an attribute in your religion, right? Mercy or loving, when God loves someone on earth, are you saying God's attribute is on earth
No, so we're
and
not talking
uh,
about
and
mercy.
his eternal attribute is on earth?
No, we're not talking about mercy right now. Let's talk about your concept of the speech of Allah and the Quran, your concept of the Quran. If you're saying that the dual nature of Christ is a logical contradiction and therefore should be rejected, then you should reject this idea of the dual nature of the speech of Allah that exists as expressive speech and a book. Two natures of it.
also, I just wanted to add something as well. So, like you said, it's infinite, the speech, obviously in the book, which is finite, but in itself, these words have reached you. So they're on earth, which is the creation of Allah, which is not infinite, and you speak the words of Allah. So His word has reached you by you reading and acknowledging the fact that these are Allah's words. His words, infinite speech, is in a finite world, a creation.
Yeah, I don't think I said infinite. I said eternal.
So do you not see how you're being inconsistent by how your objection falls back on you when you're objecting to the deity of Christ and the human nature of Christ?
No, there's no contradiction between the eternal speech being expressed and coming into the world and is expressed, and thereafter it becomes creation.
But how does
You
the
said
infinite, sorry, Muhammad, how does the
because
infinite enter the
one second.
finite then?
One
Is
second, because what we're doing here is that we're separating between the creation and the creator, whereas you said no, he still remains. That you basically said that the nature of God is also 100% human as well. We don't say that. We
no,
say that the
that's not
speech
what we
of
said.
God,
Who
the
says
speech of
nature
God
of
is
God is
eternal
human? Who
when he's
told you that? Is it
expressed,
what you're
when he
Allah
comes
told
into the
you?
world, then he becomes
Mohammed, is it what your Allah told you
in
that the nature
time.
of God is human? Is it what your Allah told you?
What?
Is it what your
Can I
Allah
ask
told you that
Muhammad
the
a
nature
question?
of our God is human?
Who's? Could you repeat
Yeah,
your
let me
question?
ask. I want to ask Muhammad a question too. Whenever y'all done.
Yeah, we're just trying to show you how you're being inconsistent in objecting to the dual nature of Christ, because your Quran has a dual nature, which for some reason you acknowledge, but then you don't acknowledge. I'm confused on how you're reasoning here.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
exact same thing, Muhammad. The exact same thing you believe about the Quran is the exact same thing what we believe about Jesus.
Exactly.
There's no
I don't know why he's
difference,
struggling to understand that basic thing.
right?
all
Because
right.
he
So are
doesn't
you?
want to understand.
Is
It's
Jesus
rather
an
clear.
attribute? One second. Is Jesus an attribute?
No, it's not. He's not an attribute. So,
Okay, one second. Let me just land the point. So if he's not attribute, then the comparison is completely different, because what we're talking about is God being 100% human, 100% God at the same time. It's just
No,
contradictory. But when you guys
you
bring in
haven't
the
showed a
example,
contradiction.
one sec,
You have
bro.
no, no. Please,
Let
please,
me just finish.
please.
Let me
Do
finish,
not make a claim without
bro.
substantiating. No,
You
no.
can respond. You can respond. Just let me finish,
Please, we are. I already refuted that notion that it is contradictory,
bro.
because okay, state the laws of non-contradiction for me, please, and then I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
Why are you navigating the conversation? Let me just finish, and then you can
I'm
ask that same
navigating
question.
because you're claiming a contradiction without actually having any evidence for it. State the laws of non-contradiction and how
I've
does it
already did.
apply?
I've already
How?
did before.
Okay, what is it?
Two things can't be simultaneously the same. I mean, the opposites. Two opposites can't be simultaneously existing at the same time. So,
Simultaneously? I want to see this law of non-contradiction. That is simultaneously. I really do want to see it.
yeah, one second.
Which philosophy website are you
Once,
using?
listen. I don't understand why you interrupted, because I wasn't finished with
Because you
my
don't know
response.
what you're talking about. You keep,
Just allow me.
dude,
Allow
dude.
me to just give me 10 more seconds.
Okay, I will give you all the time you want, but this bashing has to stop. You calling it a contradiction without actually substantiating it's a contradiction is annoying. I already told you A and not A. This is what the laws of contradiction. A and not A at the same time in the same sense. That being said, that does not qualify in the incarnation, because we're saying God is all the omnis in the sense that He is divine, and human being in a different sense, He is all human, and that is not contradictory. There's no contradiction here. There's an apparent contradiction, but it's not an actual contradiction under the laws of logic. So your point fails. Like, I don't understand how you cannot see this.
Yeah, just give me a second. So when it comes to what I was saying was that God and being human at the same time is different from the attribute of God, um, from the attribute of God being expressed. Because then we're talking about attribute of God and God. It's two different things here that's being discussed. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about the contradiction, the definition, right? I'm looking at Merriam-Webster definition, and remember what I said: two things can't be simultaneously, which are opposites, can't exist. And here it says a
Do you want
principle
to
in
send it?
logic.
Do you want to
Wait,
send it in
I'm
the
gonna
chat?
define it. I'm
Send it in the
defining it. I'm
chat.
defining it.
Dude, I'm not asking you. I'm not
Bro,
interrupting
I
you.
can
Just
send it. Let
send
me
it
just
in the
read it.
chat.
Let me just read it.
So we
Then I
can
can
read it
send it. No
together.
problem.
Okay.
Bro,
Okay. Look, I don't trust Muslims. Period. Either you send it in the chat, and beside, use a philosophy website like Stanford Philosophy or something, like a philosophy website, not a Merriam website, the dictionary website. Please, come on. Stop being lazy. I know Muhammad didn't read, but do the extra work and do read.
all right. One second. One second. Are you saying that the dictionary is incorrect on
I'm
the
not saying
definition
it's
of
incorrect.
what's law of
I'm
contradiction?
not saying it's
Then be quiet. Then be quiet and let me define it.
okay. Okay, I'll find it. I know you're like Muhammad.
I've
You
sent
don't
it. I've
read,
sent it
so
already.
I'll find it. I'll find it in
I've sent
Stanford's
it. What do you
philosophy
mean? I'll
and
find it.
pin it.
One second. Let me just define it, and let's see. Let's see if I was incorrect. It says a principle and logic, I think, cannot at the same time, which means simultaneously, bro. Both be and not be of a specified kind, as a table and are not a table, or in a specified manner, as read or not read. That's exactly what I said.
Okay, wait.
You
Mohammed
can't be God
Qasim.
and human at the same time.
Wait.
That's a
Mohammed Qasim.
contradiction.
if that's true, if that's true, then what about in the Quran, Surah 4, verse 171, when it says that Jesus
That's
is
whataboutism. That's
Kalimatullah?
whataboutism. That's a
Yeah,
fallacy of
but
whataboutism. Can you defend it and then we can go on to the
you're saying that those things
stop
can't
muting me?
be together at the same time. What I'm saying is, how can Jesus in Islam be the word of God, a spirit from God, and then at the same time exist in the physical body?
You're in the matrix, man.
Explain that to me. I mean, if you're saying that the Trinity is incomprehensible, that
He's
right there
literally
is
dodging bullets at the speed
incomprehensible as well. And
of
it's in your in
Neo.
the same. It's saying like, yo, like Isa is 3 and 1. So I'm not understanding.
All right, yeah, I can respond to that. So far I see that there's no response to my the contradiction I brought,
Yes,
right?
there
So it
is.
seems like I give it a different
So no,
definition,
no, no.
There
and
is
Hold on,
no
you should
hold on.
contradiction
wait,
because
wait, one
Jesus had
second,
two natures. And
bro.
because of the two
Why am I
natures,
getting
there's
into
no
it? Why am I getting,
contradiction. If
bro?
Muhammad
Why are you
would shut
scared
his
now?
mouth long enough that he would get an answer. So I'll just move you to the audience and I'll explain the non-contradiction because Muhammad is too stupid to actually understand what Christians believe. So in the incarnation, we believe that the divine nature and the human nature come together in the one divine person of Christ. So therefore, we can say that Jesus is fully God and fully man.